300% structural change in an object racing through our solar system. No fragmentation, no collapse. And the terrifying question is this: what if 3I Atlas is not breaking apart, but quietly building something in the dark? Right now, you and I are witnessing something humanity has almost never seen. A visitor from another star system changing in real time. This is only the third confirmed interstellar object to ever pass through our cosmic neighborhood, and it refuses to behave like a normal comet. Telescopes keep catching it. New data keeps arriving. Every update makes the mystery deeper, not smaller. This is measured light, real spectra, real trajectories, and a story that will not go away. We expected a simple script. A fragile, icy body dives toward the sun, heats up, vents gas, begins to unravel, maybe even vanish into a chaotic cloud. But as 3I Atlas swung around the sun, its brightness curve shifted in ways that looked structured instead of random, as if something inside the object was reorganizing. Jets erupted in multiple directions. Its path showed signs of non-gravitational acceleration that standard comet physics cannot comfortably explain. The question is no longer if this object is breaking apart, but what it might be turning into, and what that means for us here on Earth. Before we walk further into the unknown, we need a foundation. 3I Atlas is an interstellar comet, a frozen relic from another star system, moving through space at more than 100,000 miles per hour. It reached perihelion bathed in extreme radiation, hundreds of watts per square meter slamming into its surface. Under those conditions, any normal comet should struggle to survive. When icy bodies dive close to a star, the violence is severe. Volatile ice sublimates into gas. Cracks widen. Jets explode outward. Rotation amplifies fractures. Gravity tries to pull the nucleus apart. In most cases, this is where comets begin to die. They lose mass. Their shapes distort. Some are torn apart entirely, with debris trailing behind them. Natural chaos, not order, is the rule. But 3I Atlas broke that pattern. Its brightness did not flicker with random violence. Instead, it shifted through stages that looked almost controlled. The variations are equivalent to a few 100% change in reflective area, but the object does not fall apart. Avi Loeb calculated that, if the observed acceleration came purely from outgassing, 3I Atlas would need to lose around 15% of its mass, yet the core remains coherent. Parts of the object seem to move, but they still belong to one whole. The jets erupt strongly, and yet the nucleus refuses to break. For some scientists, this is just an extreme comet, but for others, the data feels unsettling. Then there are the jets themselves. Sunward jets, anti-solar jets, structures stretching millions of kilometers, forming arcs and tails that look less like explosions and more like geometry. Dust trails settle into patterns, overlapping in consistent angles, as though the object is sketching shapes into space. No one claims this is artificial, but the safe words, structured, coordinated, organized, keep returning. It almost looks like the object is arranging its own debris. Even its motion refuses to settle into a simple gravitational path. The non-gravitational push is not just outward from the sun. Components appear sideways along the orbit, as if something is adjusting its direction. Some researchers argue it resembles a post-perihelion maneuver. Others insist extreme outgassing can mimic the same signature. What we do know is that bright spots rotate into view with surprising regularity, and the jets do not behave like random fissures. This object is not drifting aimlessly. It behaves more like a system going through a process. That leads to a forbidden question. What if this is not a body falling apart, but a system rearranging itself? Imagine a natural structure that uses outgassing as a mechanism to reposition, a scaffold that shifts modules into new alignment. We do not see details, only patterns. But the implication is chilling. What if 3I Atlas is not breaking up, but building structures? One explanation is natural extremity. Maybe 3I Atlas contains bizarre pockets of carbon dioxide ice that channel gas into precise jets. Maybe its interior is so irregular that every rotation paints the coma with repeating arcs. Maybe interstellar conditions sculpted it into something unfamiliar. Nature can be brutal and experimental in ways we rarely imagine. That is the safe hypothesis. The other possibility stands on the cliff's edge. Some scientists have asked whether this could be a structure rather than a mere rock. Not a spaceship with windows, but a mothership, an object engineered to travel between stars, using volatile ices as propellant. The jets would then be thrusters. The anti-tail could be controlled exhaust. Smaller fragments could be deployed probes. The idea sounds like science fiction, but the data keeps circling back. Can a comet behave like a machine? And can a machine disguise itself as a comet? We cannot jump directly to alien. Our brains crave that story. Many astronomers argue strongly for natural explanations, reminding us that noisy data can create illusions. Many anomalies have already been partially explained by updated models. But even the conservative analyses admit 3I Atlas sits at the outer edge of known comet behavior, with its CO2-heavy coma, strange acceleration, and powerful jets that persist far longer than expected. The mystery does not collapse, it deepens. And the universe gives us a quiet reminder. Our models are not reality. They are guesses that held up only until the next visitor arrived. ʻOumuamua forced us to rethink shape. Borisov forced us to reconsider composition. Now 3I Atlas forces us to rethink behavior itself. Each object taps our shoulder and whispers, "You still do not understand. So let's zoom out." 3I Atlas is an interstellar traveler that dove toward our sun, brightened dramatically, sprouted massive jets, changed its internal configuration, and emerged still intact. The data looks less like destruction and more like reconfiguration. And that invites a disturbing question. If one visitor can do this, how many others have passed unseen? Our surveys have only scratched the surface. There could be millions of interstellar objects drifting silently through the dark, some natural relics, some strange experiments of nature, and perhaps, if we dare to imagine it, some engineered. If one of them ever turned intentionally toward us, would we even recognize the signal before it was too late? In the end, we call 3I Atlas a comet because we have no better word. But maybe, somewhere far from our comfort zone, something is already building in the dark, shifting its form with every encounter, leaving only faint signatures in our telescopes. It may be a natural fragment from another star, or it may be our first glimpse of a universe that refuses to stay quiet. Either way, the sky has never been empty, and we are only just beginning to notice.